Welcome to the 1000 Nights and 1 Night. Now, when it was the 145th night, she said, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when Nuzhat al-Zaman heard these words from the Badawai, the light was changed in her eyes to night, and she rose and, drawing the sword, smote Haman the Arab between the shoulder blades, so that the point issued through the apple of his throat. And when all present had asked her, 'What hast thou made haste to slay him?' she answered, 'Praise be to Allah, who hath granted me in my lifetime to avenge myself with mine own hand.' And she bade the slaves drag the body out by the feet and cast it to the dogs. Thereupon they turned to the 2 slaves who remained of the 3, and one of them was a black slave. So they said to him, 'What is thy name's fellow? Tell us the truth of thy case.' And he replied, 'As for me, my name is al-Ghazban,' and acquainted them what had passed between himself and Queen Abrazah, daughter of King Hardub, lord of Greece, and how he had slain her and fled. Hardly had the Negro made an end to his story when King Rumzan struck off his head with his scimitar, saying, 'Praise be to Allah, who gave me life. I have avenged my mother with mine own hand.' And then he repeated to them what his nurse Marjana had told him of this same slave, whose name was al-Ghazban, after which they turned to the 3rd prisoner. Now, this was the very camel driver whom the people of the holy city Jerusalem hired to carry Zal al-Makan and lodge him in the hospital at Damascus of Syria. But he threw him down on the ashes midden and went his way. And they said to him, 'Acquaint us with thy case, and tell the truth.' So he related to them all what had happened to him with Sultan Zal al-Makan, how he had been carried from the holy city at that time when he was sick, till they made Damascus, and he had been thrown into the hospital. How also the Jerusalem folk had paid the cameleer money to transport the stranger to Damascus, and he had taken it and fled after casting his charge upon the midden by the side of the ash heap of the Hammon. But when he ended his words, Sultan Makan took his sword forthright and cut off his head, saying, 'Praised be Allah, who hath given me life, that I might requite this traitor of what he did with my father, for I have heard this very story from King Zal al-Makan himself.' Then the kings said to each other, 'It remaineth only for us to wreak our revenge upon the old woman Shawai, also known as Zat al-Dawai, because she is the prime cause of all of these calamities, and cast her into adversity on this wise. Who will deliver her into our hands, that we may avenge ourselves upon her and wipe out our dishonor?' And King Ramzan said, 'Needs must we bring her hither.' So without stay or delay, he wrote a letter to his grandmother, the aforesaid ancient woman, giving her to know therein that he had subdued the kingdoms of Damascus and Mosul and Iraq, and had broken up the hosts of the Moslems, and captured their princes, adding, 'I desire thee of all urgency to come to me, bringing with thee Queen Sophia, daughter of King Afridun, and whom thou wilt of the Nazarene chiefs, but no armies, for the country is quiet and wholly under our hand.' And when she read the letter and recognized the writing of King Ramzan, she rejoiced with great joy, and forthright, equipping herself and Queen Sophia, set out with their attendants, and journeyed without stopping till they drew near Baghdad. Then she foresent a messenger to acquaint the king of her arrival, whereupon quoth Ramzan, 'We should do well to don the habit of the Franks, and fare forth to meet the old woman, to the intent that we may be assured against her craft and perfidy.' Whereto Kanmakan replied, 'Hearing is consenting.' So they clad themselves in Frankish clothes, and when Kuzia Fakan saw them, she exclaimed, 'By the truth of the Lord of worship, did I not know you, I should take you to indeed be Franks.' Then they sallied forth with 1,000 horse, King Ramzan riding on before them to meet the old woman. As soon as his eyes fell on hers, he dismounted and walked towards her, and she recognized him, dismounted also and embraced him, and he pressed her ribs with his hands till he well nigh broke them. Quoth she, "What is this, O my son?" But before she had done speaking, up came Kanmakan and Dandan, and the horsemen with them cried out at the women and slaves and took them all prisoners. Then the two kings returned to Baghdad with their captives, and Ramzan bade them decorate the city, which they did for 3 days, at the end of which they brought out the old woman Shawai, hight Zat al-Dawai, with a peaked red turban of palm leaves on her head, diademed with ass's dung, and preceded by a herald proclaiming aloud, "This is the reward of those who presume to lay hands on kings and sons of kings." Then they crucified her on one of the gates of Baghdad. And when her companions saw what befell her, all embraced in a body the faith of al-Islam. As for Khan Makan and his uncle Ramzan, and his aunt Nuzhat al-Zaman, and the Wazir Dandan, they marveled at the wonderful events that had betided them, and bade the scribes chronicle them in books, that those who came after might read them. Then they all abode for the remainder of their day in the enjoyment of every solace and comfort of life, till there overtook them the destroyer of all delights, and the sunderer of all societies. And this is the whole that hath become down to us of the dealings of fortune with King Omar bin al-Nu-uman, and his son Sharrkan, and Za al-Makan, and his son's son Khan Makan, and his daughter Nuzhat al-Zaman, and her daughter Kuzia Khan. Thereupon quoth Shar to Shahrazad, "I desire that thou tell me somewhat about birds." And hearing this, Dunyazad said to her sister, "I have never seen the Sultan light at heart all this time till the present night, and his pleasure gareth me hope that the issue for thee with him may be happy issue." Then drowsiness overcame the Sultan, so he slept. And Shahrazad perceived the approach of day, and ceased saying her permitted say. Now, when it was the 146th night, Shahrazad began to relate in these words the tale of the birds and beasts and the carpenter. Quoth she, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that in times of yore and ages long gone before, a peacock abode with his wife on the seashore. Now the place was infested with lions and all manner of wild beasts, withal it abounded in trees and streams. So cock and hen were wont to roost by night upon the trees, being in fear of the beast, and went forth by day questing food. And they ceased not thus to do till their fear increased on them, and they searched for some place wherein to dwell other than their old dwelling place. And in the course of their search, behold, there happened on an island abounding in streams and trees. So they alighted there, and ate of its fruit, and drank of its water. But whilst they were thus engaged, lo, up came a duck in a state of extreme terror, and stayed not faring towards until she reached the tree whereon were perched the two peafowl. When they seemed reassured in mind, the peacock doubted not but that she had some rare story. So she asked her of her case, and the cause of her concern, whereto she answered, "I am sick for sorrow, and my horror of the son of Adam. So beware, and again I say, beware of the sons of Adam." Rejoined the peacock, "Fear not now that thou hast won our protection." Cried the duck, "Alhamdulillah, glory to God, who hath done away my cark and care by means of you being near. For indeed, I come of friendship fain with you twain." And when she had ended her speech, the peacock's wife came down to her and said, "Welcome, and fair cheer. No harm shall hurt thee. How can son of Adam come to us, and we in this isle which lieth amidst of the sea? From the land he cannot reach us, neither can he come against us from the water. So be of good cheer, and tell us what hath betided thee from the child of Adam." Answered the duck, "Know then, O thou peahen, that of a truth I have dwelt all my life in this island safely and peacefully, nor have seen any disquieting thing till one night, as I was asleep, I sighted in my dream the semblance of a son of Adam, who talked with me, and I with him. Then I heard a voice say to me, O thou duck, beware of the son of Adam, and be not imposed on by his words, nor by that he may suggest to thee, for he aboundeth in wiles and guiles. So beware with all wariness of his perfidy. For again I say, he is crafty, and right cunning, even as singeth of him the poet. He'll offer sweetmeats with his edged tongue, and foxy with the foxy guile of fox. And know thou that the son of Adam circumventeth the fishes, and draweth them forth of the seas, and he shooteth the birds with a pellet of clay, and trappeth the elephant with his craft. None is safe from his mischief, and neither bird nor beast escapeth him. And on this wise have I told thee what I have heard concerning the son of Adam. So I awoke, fearful and trembling, and from that hour to this my heart hath not known gladness, for dread of the son of Adam, lest he surprise me unawares by his wile or trap, or in his snares. By the time the end of the day overtook me, my strength was grown weak, and my spunk failed me. So desiring to eat and drink, I went forth walking, doubled in spirit, and with a heart ill at ease. Now when I reached yonder mountain, I saw a tawny lion whelp at the door of a cave, and sighting me, he joyed in me with great joy, for my color pleased him, and my gracious shape. So he cried out to me, saying, Draw nigh unto me. And I went up to him, and he asked my name. What is thy name, and what is thy nature? Answered I, My name is Duck, and I am of the bird kind. And I added, But thou, why tarriest thou in this place till this time? Answered the whelp, My father the lion hath for many a day warned me against the son of Adam. And it came to pass this night that I saw in my sleep the semblance of the son of Adam. And he went on to tell me the like of that I have told you. And when I heard these words, I said to him, O lion, I take asylum with thee, that thou mayest kill the son of Adam, and be steadfast and resolved to his slaughter. Verily, I fear him for myself with extreme fear, and my affright is added to that thou dreadest the son of Adam, albeit thou art sultan of savage beasts. Then I ceased not, O my sister, to bid the young lion beware of the son of Adam, and urged him to slay him, till he rose of a sudden, and at once from his stead, and he went out, and he fared on, and after him, and I noted him lashing flanks with tail. We advanced in the same order till we came to a place where the roads forked, and saw a cloud of dust arise, which presently clearing away discovered below it was a runaway naked ass, now galloping and running at speed, and now rolling in the dust. When the lion saw the ass, he cried out to him, and he came up to him in all humility. Then said the lion, Harkye, crack-brained brute, what is thy kind, and what be the cause of thy coming hither? He replied, O son of the Sultan, I am by kind an ass, Asinus calibus, and the cause of my coming to this place is that I am fleeing from the son of Adam. Asked the lion whelp, Dost thou fear then that he will kill thee? Answered the ass, Not so, O son of the Sultan, but I dread lest he put a cheat on me and mount upon me, for he hath a thing called a pack saddle, which he setteth on my back, also a thing called girths, which he bindeth around my belly, and a thing called a crupper, which he putteth under my tail, and a thing called a bit, which he put in my mouth. And he fashioned me a goad, and he goadeth me with it, and make me run more than my strength. If I stumble, he curseth me, and if I bray, he revileth me. And at last, when I grow old and can no longer run, he putteth me on a panel of wood, and delivereth me to the water carriers, who load my back with water from the river, and skins, and other vessels, such as jars. And I cease not to want in misery and abasement and fatigue till I die, when they cast me on the rubbish heaps to the dogs. So what grief can surpass this grief, and what calamities can be greater than these calamities? Now, when I heard O Peahen the ass's words, my skin shuddered, and became as goose flesh at the son of Adam. And I said to the lion whelp, O my lord, the ass of a verity hath excuse, and his words add terror to my terror. Then quoth the young lion to the ass, Whither goest thou? Quoth he, Before sunrise I espied the son of Adam afar, and fled from him. And now I am minded to flee forth and run without ceasing for the greatness of my fear of him, so haply I may find me a place of shelter from the perfidious son of Adam. Whilst the ass was thus discoursing with the lion-whelp, seeking the while to take leave of us and go away, behold, appeared to us another cloud of dust, whereat the ass brayed and kicked out and looked hard and let fly a loud fart. After a while the dust lifted and discovered a black steed, finely dyed with a blaze on the forehead like a durham, round and bright, handsomely marked about the hoof with white and with firm, strong legs, pleasing to sight, and he neighed with affright. This horse ceased not running till he stood before the whelp, the son of the lion, who, when he saw him, marveled and made much of him, and said, What is thy kind, O majestic wild beast, and wherefore fleest thou into this desert wide and vast? He replied, O Lord of wild beasts, I am a steed of the horse kind, and the cause of my running is that I am fleeing from the son of Adam. The lion wondered at the horse's speech, and cried to him, Speak not such words, for it is shame to thee, seeing that thou art tall and stout. And how cometh it thou fearest the son of Adam, thou with thy bulk of body and thy swiftness of running, when I, for all my littleness of stature, am resolved to encounter the son of Adam, and rushing on him, eat his flesh, that I may allay the affright of this poor duck, and make her dwell in peace in her own place. But now thou hast come here, and thou hast wrung my heart with thy talk, and turned me back from what I had resolved to do, seeing that, for all thy bulk, the son of Adam hath mastered thee, and hath feared neither thy height nor thy breadth, albeit wert thou to kick him with one hoof, thou wouldest kill him. Nor could he prevail against thee, but thou wouldest make him drink the cup of death. The horse laughed. When he heard the whelp's word, he replied, Far is it from my power to overcome him, O prince. Let not my length and my breadth, nor yet my bulk, delude thee from respect to the son of Adam. For that he of the excess of his guile and his wiles fashioneth me a thing called hobble, and applieth to my 4 legs a pair of ropes made of palm fibers, bound with felt, and giveth me by the head to a high peg, so that I, being tied up, remain standing, and can neither sit nor lie down. And when he is minded to ride me, he bindeth on his feet a thing of iron, called stirrup, and layeth on my back another thing called saddle, which he fasteneth by 2 girths passed under my armpits. Then he setteth in my mouth a thing of iron he calleth a bit, to which he tieth a thing of leather called rein. And when he sitteth in the saddle on my back, he taketh the rein in his hand, and guideth me with it, goading my flanks the while with the shovel stirrups, till he maketh me bleed. So do not ask, O son of our Sultan, the hardships I endured from the son of Adam. And when I grow old and lean and can no longer run swiftly, he selleth me to the miller, who will make me turn in the mill, and I cease not from turning night and day, till I grow decrepit. Then he in turn vendeth me by the knacker, who cutteth my throat, and flayeth my hide, and plucketh out my tail, which he selleth to the sieve maker, and he melt down my fat for tallow candles. Now, when the young lion heard the horse's words, his rage and vexation redoubled, and he said, What didst thou leave the son of Adam? Replied the horse, At midday, and he was upon my track. Whilst the whelp was thus conversing with the horse, lo! there rose a cloud of dust, and presently opening out, discovered below it a furious camel, gurgling and pawing the earth with his feet, and never ceasing so to do till he came upon us. Now, when the lion whelp saw how big and buxom he was, he took him to be the son of Adam, and was about to spring upon him, when I said to him, O prince, of a truth, this is not the son of Adam. This be a camel, and he seemeth to be fleeing from the son of Adam. As I was thus conversing, O my sister from the lion whelp, the camel came up and saluted him, whereupon he replied the greeting, and said, What bringeth thee hither? replied he. I came from fleeing from the son of Adam. Quoth the whelp, and thou, with thy huge frame and length and breadth, how cometh it thou fearest the son of Adam, seeing that with one kick of thy foot thou wouldest kill him? Quoth the camel, O son of the Sultan, know that the son of Adam hath subtleties and wiles which none can withstand, nor can any prevail against him, save only death. For he putteth into my nostrils a twine of goat's hair, he calleth a nose ring, and over my head he calleth a halter. Then he delivered me to at least of his little children, and the youngling draweth me along by the nose ring, my size and strength notwithstanding. Then they load me with the heaviest of burdens, and go long journeys with me, and put me to hard labor through the hours and the night of the day. And when I grow old and stricken in years, and disabled from working, my master keepeth me not with him, but selleth me to the knacker, who cutteth my throat, and vendeth my hide to the tanners, and my flesh to the cooks. So do not ask the hardships I suffer from the son of Adam. When didst thou leave the son of Adam? Asked the young lion. And he answered, At sundown. And I suppose that, coming to my place after my departure, and not finding me there, he is now in search of me. Wherefore, let me go, O son of the Sultan, that I may flee into the wolds and the wilds. Said the whelp, Wait a while, O camel, till thou see how I will tear him, and give thee to eat of his flesh, whilst I crunch his bones and drink his blood. Replied the camel, O king's son, I fear for thee from the child of Adam. He is wily and guileful. And he began repeating these verses. When the tyrant enters the liege's land, naught remains for the lieges but quick remove. Now, whilst the camel was speaking with the lion whelp, behold, there rose a cloud of dust, which after a time opened, and showed an old man, scanty of stature and lean of limb, and he bore on his shoulder a basket of carpenter's tools, and on his head a branch of a tree and 8 planks. He led little children by the hand, and he came at a trotting pace, never stopping till he drew near the whelp. When I saw him, O my sister, I fell down for excess of fear. But the young lion rose and walked forward to meet the carpenter. And when he came up to him, the man smiled in his face, and said to him with a glib tongue, and in courtly manners, O king, who defendeth from harm, and lord of the long arm, Allah prosper thine evening and thine enduring, and increase thy valiancy and strengthen thee. Protect me from that which hath distressed me, and with its mischief hath oppressed me, for I have found no helper save only thyself. And the carpenter stood in his presence, weeping and wailing and complaining. When the whelp heard his sighing and his crying, he said, I will succor thee from that thou fearest. Who hath done thee wrong, and what art thou, O wild beast, whose like in my life I have never seen, nor ever espied one goodlier of form or more eloquent of tongue than thou? What is thy case? Replied the man, O lord of wild beasts, as to myself, I am a carpenter. But as to who wrongeth me, verily, he is a son of Adam, and by break of dawn after this coming night, he will be with thee in this place. When the lion whelp heard these words of the carpenter, the light was changed to night before his sight, and he snorted and roared with ire, and his eyes cast forth sparks of fire. Then he cried, By Allah, I will assuredly watch through this coming night till dawn, nor will I return to my father till I have won my will. Then he turned to the carpenter and asked, Of a truth, I see thou art short of step, and I would not hurt thy feelings, for that I am generous of heart. Yet do I deem thee unable to keep pace with the wild beasts. Tell me then whither thou goest. Answered the carpenter, Know that I am on my way to thy father's wazir, the lynx. For when he heard that the son of Adam had set foot in this country, he feared greatly for himself, and sent one of the wild beasts on a message for me to make him a house wherein he should dwell, that he might shelter him and fend off his enemies from him, so not one of the sons of Adam should come to him. Accordingly, I took up these planks and set forth to find him. Now, when the young lion heard these words, he envied the lynx and said to the carpenter, By my life, there is no help for it, but that thou make me a house with these planks, ere thou make one for Sir Lynx. When thou hast done my work, go to him and make him whatsoever he wisheth. The carpenter replied, O Lord of wild beasts, I cannot make thee aught till I have made the lynx what he desireth. Then will I return to thy service and build thee a house as a fort to ward thee from thy foe. Exclaimed the lion whelp, By Allah, I will not let thee leave this place till thou build me a house of planks. So saying, he made for the carpenter and sprang upon him, thinking to jest with him, and cuffed him with his paw, knocking the basket off his shoulder, and threw him down in a fainting fit. Whereupon the young lion laughed at him and said, Woe to thee, carpenter! Of a truth thou art feeble, and hast no force. So it is excusable in thee to fear the son of Adam. Now, when the carpenter fell on his back, he waxed exceedingly wroth, but he dissembled his wrath for fear of the whelp, and sat on and smiled in his face, saying, Well, I will make for thee the house. With this he took the planks he had brought and nailed them together, the house which he made in the form of a chest, after the measure of the young lion. And he left the door open, for he had cut in the box a large aperture, to which he made a stout cover, and bored many holes therein. Then he took out some newly wrought nails and a hammer, and said to the young lion, Enter the house through this opening, that I may fit it to thy measure. Thereat the whelp rejoiced, and went into the opening, but saw that it was strait. And the carpenter said to him, Enter, and crouch down on thy legs and arms. So the whelp did thus, and entered the chest, but his tail remained outside. Then he would have drawn back and come out, but the carpenter said to him, Wait patiently a while, till I see if there be room for thy tail with thee. The young lion did as he was bid, when the carpenter twisted up his tails and stuffed it into the chest, whipped the lid on the opening, and nailed it down, whereat the whelp cried out and said, O carpenter! What is this narrow house thou hast made for me? Let me out, sirrah. But the carpenter answered, Far be it from thy thought. Repentance for past avails naught, and indeed of this place thou shalt not come out. He then laughed and resumed, Verily thou art fallen into the trap, and from thy duress there is no escape, O vilest of wild beasts. Rejoined the whelp, O my brother, what manner of words are these thou addressest to me? The carpenter replied, Know, O dog of the desert, that thou hast fallen into that which thou fearest. Faith hath upset thee, nor shall caution set thee. When the whelp heard these words, O my sister, he knew that this was indeed the very son of Adam, against whom he had been warned by his sire in waking state, and by the mysterious voice and sleeping while. And I also was certified that this was indeed he without a doubt. Wherefore a great fear of him for myself seized me, and I withdrew a little apart from him, and waited to see what he would do with the young lion. Then I saw, O my sister, the son of Adam dig a pit in that place, hard by the chest which held the whelp, and throwing the box into the hole, heaped dry wood upon it, and burned the young lion with fire. At this sight, O sister mine, my fear of the son of Adam redoubled, and in my affright I have been these 2 days fleeing from him. But when the peahen heard from the deck this story, and Scheherazade perceived the dawn of the day, and ceased to say her permitted say, and so do I cease my tale for the day, till it be morrow.